Hi, class. I wanted to add this to the two previous lectures on the Spanish colonial era, and it's the caste system of Mexico under Spanish rule. Um, During this time, if you recall, there was the mixing of the Spaniards and the different kinds of Spaniards, those that were born in Spain and those who were born in the New Spain in Mexico. And then, of course, the coupling with indigenous people, um, blacks, etc. And what happened was, in effect, the Spaniards were not forced, but they kind of just lent themselves to create this system to distinguish among the newly formed mixtures of European, African, indigenous people. And they call it the castas, the caste system, if you will. They identified and classified 53 different types of combinations. And I wanted to I wanted to showcase some of those here so that you kind of had a sense of what was going on. In this first picture, it's a amalgamation of or a compilation of different imagery, and you can see here it's like almost like a large TV set, and you see these different couples and the small child. Well, this is their offspring, and I don't know. Anyways, let me get to the first one here. So the more prevalent mixture was a Spaniard male with an Indian woman, and in this case, you produce a mestizo. This particular painting was, let's see here, if I'm not sure if you can see it, but it was from 1770 to 1780. So let's make it 1775 if you want to split the difference there. And what they're in this particular piece, what they're doing, the artist is and there's various artists and there's various renditions and different periods of time that these paintings capture, but they were trying to communicate a couple of things. Number one, in these paintings, you're going to see that usually the Spaniards are very regal and of high status, and in this particular case, the Indian woman in the red dress, she doesn't look very native. But again, this is early on in the period. So, anyways, this is something I think that's helpful. Mestizo, Spaniard, Indian, and then you had what would happen. Uh, Again, mestizo, Spaniard, and Indian. And here you have a little bit different depiction, huh? This is 1763. And in this case, the woman, the female, is a little bit more on the coffee colored side there. She looks more Indian, if you will. And then, of course, there's the Spaniard on the left, and then the offspring, the little girl. Mulata. A mulata is a combination of a Spaniard with a black woman. Um, and in this case, this particular painting is 1763. Um, I want to say it was the same artist as the one before. Um, just to kind of give you context, the I went to an exhibit in I believe it was Los Angeles Museum of Art. There's lots of them, but I don't recall. I might have been the LA County Museum. Anyways, they had a whole exhibit on Casta paintings, and so I was able to purchase the book, the exhibit book, and I was able to take and scan some of the images that were from that particular art exhibit. Castiza, Spaniard and a mestiza. So if you think about it, this particular baby or infant, or in this case, little girl, is only one quarter Indian because her mother was half, but her father was full. So if you do the math, that would make her one quarter. And so a castiza is a good thing because you're kind of going back to those Spanish roots. Albino, Spaniard with a morisca. A morisca, oh my gosh, I think I have that in the next slide. But here again, you're seeing kind of the emphasis on the Spanish. Notice the setting. very what is that? China and glassware. Um, let's go to the next one here. Coyote. A coyote is a mestizo man with an Indian woman. So now you're going on the other side of the scale. You're going more towards away from the Spanish. So now these aren't my words. This is how the Spanish saw it. Either you're the continuum was your let's say point A was white, Spaniard. That's where you wanted to be, and then you had all these kind of mixtures and combinations that kind of got away from the center of that baseline. And so here, a coyote was removing yourself. So think about it. In this particular case, only 25% of that child is Spanish. The rest is more Indian or indigenous. Let's see here. Lobo. A lobo is a black and an Indian. Um, yeah. Let's see here. Here we go. Morisca is a Spaniard and a mulata. So again, that would produce a combination of what 75% Spaniard and 25% black of this particular combination. And here's I thought this was kind of interesting. A return backwards, torna atrás, to go back. And what this means is a Spaniard with an albina. Um, it's interjecting more Spanish blood in this combination than had been before. Um, anyways, I just wanted to share a couple of these pieces, a couple of these combinations. There are so many, and and you can see their kind of their fixation with these different combinations. Um, and let me go back to the first page here. And some of the paintings, they actually have miniatures of all these different combinations. You can't see it here, but there's some inscription right underneath each of those. And I imagine it was kind of like this big giant um, exhibit display, and it was informing the populace of how they fit into this particular group. All right, folks. Again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you online.